day to do some shopping.
Every day is, isn't it? And it's a new season as well. We're past Labor Day, okay? So why not shop somewhere local and different? Allison Dow of House of Dow in Uptown Toledo is with us this morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. First of all, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
This is such a fun outfit.
Thank you. I love trying to wear like bright colors but still look, you know, professional.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. With the hair, everything. It looks
Thank
great.
you.
So tell me a little bit about your store.
Well, it's called House of Dow, as you said, which is from my last name. And we're on Adams Street in Uptown, right by Toledo School for the Arts. And we sell vintage and gently used clothing. And we are all about wearing and styling the most fun things you can wear. And that's this.
Yeah, fun.
And how did you get into vintage? What draws you to that?
I did a little bit in theater when I was younger, but I've just always loved, you know, going to estate sales and going out and finding cool finds and being able to look unique. Fashion is really important to me, and I know, you know, everybody wants to look good, but you also don't want to look like everybody else. And vintage is a great way to look unique and stand out and be affordable. So
that's a big thing. And I also think, you know, reusing and you know, getting a second life out of something in this day and age.
Right. And that's huge as far as environmental impacts to kind of recycle those clothing and, like you said, give them new life.
Yeah, there's so much in fast fashion that just ends up in dumpsters and piles up in landfills. But when you wear vintage clothing, not only are you saving something from a landfill, but you're giving it a chance at a second life. And a lot of clothes have really great stories behind them too. Some are artistic pieces. We have a collection of vintage wedding dresses at the store, and we try to share their stories as well. So there's a lot of history that's in clothing as well.
Very good, and a lot of very quality pieces. And we're going to see a couple here. We're going to start with the ladies this morning, and then we'll take care of the men too in a little bit. So we have two models, and you may recognize at least one of them. Kaylee is a reporter with us, and then Amanda, who is with us up in our sales department, are joining us this morning to show us some looks. So let's start with Kaylee. What is she wearing?
So she is wearing a wool boucle knit two-piece suit, and it's very much the style of Coco Chanel. You see this style as a kind of a modern office look, but still fun and trendy. And then we've dressed it up with some other accessories. She's got a vintage alligator skin bag, or sorry, lizard skin bag. Some of her own vintage boots that she wore, some gold jewelry, and if you're into like designers like Moschino, this is very much like a Moschino runway look with all of the jewelry and beads layered with it.
That's the part I'm really digging this here.
The jewelry.
Yeah, and sometimes more is more. Like you might think, I'm just gonna wear one gold necklace, but we love to do layers, like 3 necklaces, 3 bracelets, a cluster of 3 brooches can really pop as a way of accenting your jewelry.
And what is the hot trend on her outfit that we can carry into the fall season?
I would say pearls. Pearls are super in. Pearls. They've been super trendy, and mixing them with other styles, especially with like the gold chains, is very hot. And then just being, you know, wearing something you feel comfortable in is also what's important in fashion these days. After the pandemic, people really want to be comfortable in their clothing, especially if they have to work long hours or they're working from home. So when you shop vintage, it's important you try things on and make sure that you feel comfortable in them, otherwise you'll never wear them.
Exactly, and then you get into the situation where stuff's going in the dumpster. And we don't want that to happen.
And so with comfort, we take a look at our other outfit, which is a nice cotton jumpsuit, and we were looking at something that would be good for travel, or if you were going to a party or to work. Really goes great across all of those. And you've got a high-waisted belt, some heels with it, and accessories, and she looks ready to go anywhere. Fun patterns are super in these days. People like to wear bright, bold things that they don't have to dress up too much. And if whenever anybody asks me, like, I have a formal event I'm supposed to go to, but I want to be comfortable, I always recommend a jumpsuit, especially one that's patterned. But if you want to still keep it simple, grab a blazer or tuxedo jacket, and that'll dress it up too.
And what about the belts? Because of course we're all in different bodies and maybe clothes fit differently. What do you recommend as far as belts?
So I recommend getting a couple of different sizes. It's great to have one that you can wear up here as a high waist belt that you can break up your outfit with if you're wearing a dress and you want to belt it. Adjustable ones that are stretchy are also good for that. And you should also have
one. Those.
Yeah. you should also have one that works on your hips, so a wider one then. And you know, sometimes if you want to wear a layered look again, you can do 3 belts at the same time, and that can be a cool streetwear look. That one's really popular, so yeah.
Very cool. Now, when I think of vintage, it makes me a little bit nervous because I feel like, can I pull that off?
Absolutely. I think that vintage can really be intimidating because A, our bodies are different sizes and shapes than they used to be, and it can be hard, and B, it can be hard to know what you're getting into when you go into a vintage shop. Our store has different areas sorted by categories, so we have like a 90s area, an 80s area, 70s area. We also have an area for tops and skirts, jeans, menswear, and then we have a curvy girl section.
Ah, yes.
One of the things,
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things we get asked about a lot, or when people come in, they assume that because it's vintage, there won't be anything that fits them. And one of our number one priorities is making sure we can dress everybody. So we carry up to size 5X. We make sure that everybody is able to find something in our store, and we want everybody to feel good in what they're getting.
I think they look fantastic, ladies.
I wouldn't have even thought that that was vintage
Right?
when I was going shopping.
Yeah, and and that's part of it, being able to make your vintage look modern. Like I'm wearing a polyester shirt today from the 70s, but I've dressed it with a blazer, and it's just Ralph Lauren and dress pants and shoes, and one little vintage thing made my whole outfit pop. And it was inexpensive, so it's just a good way if you want to look different or fun, you know, throw something vintage in your look.
And you also said that it was inexpensive.
Inexpensive.
Tell us more about the prices if you're maybe on a budget.
Yeah, so our price points at House of Dow are pretty reasonable compared to other vintage stores around the country. For instance, you'd pay like $25 for a jumpsuit, or maybe $35 to $50 for the two-piece suit. But we try to keep everything at a reasonable price for what we would pay, because we know that clothing isn't always affordable and accessible for everybody. If you need dress clothing, if you need something fancy, we can help you do it on a budget. But also, our employees are trained and know that if somebody can't afford something, we're happy to help take care of them anyways. We want to make sure everybody gets a chance to wear what they want.
That's so great. Yeah, I do think of events sometimes, and I go, I don't know if I can afford that big, you know.
Yeah,
but yeah,
come
so
see
it's
us.
a really great option.
Yeah, and we can help find things too. So if you're like, I need a giant ball gown and here's my budget, we are happy to help find it for you.
Wonderful. I love that
It's
service.
the ease of shopping, and it just makes everything a little bit easier. Then. Well, thank you for making us a part of your good day this morning.
Yeah, next, more fashion. We're going to see how House of Dow is dressing the guys when Toledo's original 9 a.m. show continues.